Open clusters are groups of tens to thousands of stars that are loosely bound by gravity. Where in a galaxy are they mainly located? Near the galactic center. What is the phenomenon called in which the lengths of the seasons differ because of the Earth's orbit? Changes in orbital speed. What is the film called that allows light of only certain directions of vibration to pass? Polarizing film. What do we call a material placed between two conductors to prevent current from flowing? Insulator. What is the phenomenon called when light bends as it enters a different medium? Refraction. Why can the brain transmit information so quickly? Because nerve cells are interconnected. When a metal reacts with an acid, which gas is produced? Hydrogen. Why does a chopstick look bent in water? Because of refraction of light. Why does ice float on water? Because the density of ice is lower than that of water. What principle does a wireless charger use? Electromagnetic induction. Which organ in the human body purifies the blood? The kidneys. How are the melting point and freezing point of a substance generally related? They are the same. What mainly comes out through the stomata of plant leaves? Oxygen and water vapor. What is the bright flash in the sky accompanied by thunder called? Lightning. In an ecosystem, what organisms convert light energy into chemical energy? Producers. Which structure is found only in plant cells and not in animal cells? The cell wall. What do we call the proteins that catalyze chemical reactions in living organisms? Enzymes. Which property is related to the reason cooking oil floats on water? Density. Why does Mercury have almost no atmosphere? Because its gravity is weak. Which gas makes up the largest proportion of Earth's atmosphere? Nitrogen. Why is mercury used in a mercury thermometer? Because it has a large thermal expansion. What do you call a pressure system in the northern hemisphere that rotates counterclockwise? A low-pressure system. In which cell organelle does cellular respiration take place? Mitochondria. Compared with the object, how is the size of the image formed in a plane mirror? It is the same. What principle explains how a vacuum cleaner sucks in dust? Difference in air pressure. On what does the brightness of a light bulb depend? The magnitude of the electric current. When dew forms, A gas changes into what state? A liquid. What do you call the scale used to measure the magnitude of an earthquake? The Richter scale. Which cells in the blood transport oxygen? Red blood cells. Among vertebrates, what is the only mammal that can truly fly? The bat. Which planet in the solar system has the greatest axial tilt? Uranus. Which property is related to the reason a rubber balloon filled with helium rises into the sky? Density. What is the name of the cell organelle in animal cells that produces energy? Mitochondria. What is the phenomenon called when roots grow in the direction of gravity? Positive gravitropism. Which scientist first presented the theory of evolution in a systematic way? Charles Darwin. Where is a magnet's force the strongest? At its poles. What do we call a very rapidly rotating neutron star that remains after a star explodes? Pulsar. When the state of matter changes, what happens to the number of molecules? It does not change. What is the property of a solution with pH 7? It is neutral. What do you call material that accumulates after rocks are broken down into small particles by weathering and erosion? Sediments. Thanks for watching all the way through. Share your science knowledge in the comments. Your support helps us create even more science quizzes. See you in the next one.